All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You're in a job interview, it's going great, and then it happens. They ask that question. You know the one. The one that can make you freeze up. Well, we're going to dive into exactly how to handle it. And not just handle it, but totally ace it. You know exactly which one I'm talking about, right? It's that moment where the interviewer kind of leans forward, gives you a little smile, and then drops this classic question that just sends a jolt of panic right through you. It almost feels like a trick question, doesn't it? And there it is, the big one. How in the world are you supposed to answer this? You don't want to sound like you're bragging, but you also don't want to sound like you're not qualified. And you definitely want to avoid those super cheesy, overused answers that every interviewer has heard a million times. The secret here is to stop trying to invent some perfect answer and instead look for the real one. So how do you find that real answer? Well, there's a really simple but honestly a super powerful mental trick you can use. I like to call it the best friend test, and it completely reframes the question in a way that makes finding an honest-to-goodness answer surprisingly easy. Just think about it for a second. Seriously, if I went and asked your best friend, the person who knows you best, to describe you, your strengths, your quirks, all of it, what would they actually say? Not the polished, buttoned-up interview version of you, but the real you. Tapping into that perspective, well, that's the secret sauce. So here's the deal. The best friend test is basically a tool to help you see yourself a little more clearly. It's all about stepping outside of your own head for a minute to get a glimpse of your own qualities, both the good stuff and the stuff you could work on, through the eyes of someone who really gets you. And that's the whole point. This isn't about coming up with some fake weakness that's actually a strength, like, oh, I'm just too much of a perfectionist. No way. It's about finding genuine things about yourself that you can then talk about in a really professional and self-aware way. Trust me, authenticity is what makes you stand out. That's what recruiters are really looking for. Okay, so finding an authentic answer is a huge first step, but that's only half the job. Now we've got to take that authentic answer and make it relevant to the specific job you're going for. This is where we turn a good answer into a great one. It's really just a simple two-step process. First, you use the test to dig up the raw material, the honest truth about yourself. Then, you connect that truth directly to the things the company cares about, to their values. When you do that, you're showing them you're not just self-aware, but you've actually done your homework. You know, to really see how this works, let's just walk through an example. Let's pretend you're in an interview for a cabin crew position with a big airline. The pressure's on, and you know they're going to ask some tough questions. Now, to make our answer hit the mark, we need to know what they're looking for, right? A little bit of research shows that airlines are almost always focused on these four things: teamwork, empathy, safety, and professionalism. So whatever genuine trait we pull out with our best friend test, we need to frame it in a way that connects back to one of these key areas. And this is where you can see the magic happen. The before answer, total cliche. I'm the perfectionist. Yawn. But look at the after answer. It starts with what a friend would say, which makes it feel real and honest. And then, this is the brilliant part, it links that tendency to worry about details directly back to safety, which is a huge value for any airline. It's genuine, but it's also incredibly strategic. You see what's happening here? When you follow this process, you stop giving those generic, forgettable answers. Instead, you're giving them something that is uniquely you, something compelling. You're not just answering a question anymore. You're showing them who you are and why you're a perfect fit. If there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this right here. The real power isn't just in being authentic, and it's not just in being relevant to the job. It's in the combination, the fusion of those two things. That is what makes an interviewer really pay attention. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's not about just getting through the question. It's about giving that perfect, genuine answer that shows them who you really are and how well you align with what they need. So I'm going to leave you with that question to chew on before your next interview. Take a minute, be really honest with yourself, and just think about it. What would your best friend really say about you? Because finding that answer, well, it might just be the thing that lands you the job.